see you. I'm in a bit of a situation here. Locked in. And I'm not alone. What should we do? How do we get out of this room? I'll be taking this.
Welcome to my domain. See anything you like. Spot press back through walls. Sorry to see you go.
Hello. It's Cooper. Good job getting the girl out of immediate danger. You seem to have a solid handle on things. With the arrival approaching, we're being watched more closely than ever, and so I have to pretend to work. However, I'm installing a help desk in your OmniView display. Select the help desk icon if you need my expertise along the way. Good luck tonight. No doubt, the girl would be doomed without you. So the girl wants to find the librarian. I hope he can help her, but I fear she may overestimate his influence inside Metamorphosis. This place is changing, evolving into something even more sinister than its original purpose. In searching for the librarian, remember, you have a map. Use it to check out areas you've visited.
Thanks for getting me out of there.
Signor Octavo joins Metamorphosis. Librarian is now preeminent manifesto scholar. I met the librarian this morning. He's a sweet man, with his heart sewn directly onto his adorable little lapel. And I do so admire his passion for literature. In a former life, I would swoon over a well-read man. But I hope for his sake, he learns to bury that part of himself. In here, following your passion is the shortest road to recalibration.
Y390H. I see you're admiring our latest installation.
Why do you keep these books away from us? I can handle them.
Maybe you're right. However, there are others in your class who are not as strong as you. And books like those can make them sick. Would it be fair to let you read them, but keep them from your friends?
That doesn't sound fair.
Well then, so are you saying you would prefer that they read them too? Will you have their illness on your conscience?
I don't want that either.
Of course not. I am not a filter for your ideas, child. I am your shield. There is so much ugliness in this world. Let me stand in the way of it. Let me stare it down. Your eyes are too pretty to witness such things.
I appreciate the compliment, Headmaster.
(390H). You must hurry along now. The rest of your class is already inside.
Why does he hold those books away from us, Senor Octavo?
It is the headmaster's belief that those books sully the minds of pre-cals and should therefore be removed from our curriculum.
But that isn't what you believe, is it?
Books like these do not paint a rosy picture of the world, but they are not meant to. They are not paintings of the world we want. They are mirrors, reflecting the world we have.
I don't know what that Prisrac's intentions were, but I'm glad we didn't stick around to find out. The libraries, this may come in handy.
Salinger, amateur sculptor of teenage angst. In Catcher in the Rye, he forces us to watch Holden flit from school to school. Oh, poor Io, tormented by Hera's gadfly. When Caulfield realizes that he, not the institutions, beleaguer him the most, he is truly at risk. Our beloved pre-cals must never know their gadflies and ever rely on their Republique to satisfy. We don't need another Mark David Chapman.
The library. It feels so quiet after hours. It used to be filled with books. The librarian's glasses. His office is up there, 3rd floor. We should go to him now.
Nothing going.
What's yours is mine.
Marquez would have you believe he's a prophet? A man possessing otherworldly insight into how each state's downfall is predetermined? Well, surely he did not predict how his rampant vulgarity and celebrations of incest in 100 Years of Solitude would play before the court of his own state's generous overseers. I say we banish him for life, plus a century, librarian.
What's that?
They won't find me in here.
Be careful. The Prizrak in this part of the facility are unpredictable in their rounds. You never know where they might turn up.
Welcome to my domain. What would you like? I press back through walls. Leaving so soon.
Look, pepper spray. They won't find me.
Over there.
Let go of me! I'll check his pockets. Got it. I'll hold on to this.
Make a wish. But don't tell me what it is, or it won't come true.
I wish the headmaster was dead.
Weep. Don't talk like that.
Zager said that someday the truth will rain down on this place and wash away all of the headmaster's lies.
I've never seen the rain before.
Zager wasn't talking about the rain. He was talking about the truth.
I don't care about the truth. I just want to know what rain feels like.
Zager's silence deafening. The notorious terrorist is quiet, scheming. The arrival is just weeks away, and public enemy number 1 has gone radio silent. If the headmaster, or overseer, or whatever name he goes by these days, plans to take a bow on the world stage, he can't have a phantom hiding in the wings ready to sabotage his big production. I shouldn't complain. It's going to be one hell of a show.
Increase the threat level. following the subject.
Let go! No, Prisrac. And he sees me.
I've captured 390H.
Welcome to my domain. Sorry to see you go.
You've been busy.
This game starts by saying you've won the labor lottery. Trust me, this is not something you want to win. In Papers, Please, you work the mundane job of our Stotska Immigration Services, which means cross-referencing fingerprints, stamping passports, and asking people intrusive questions. Sound boring? Tell that to Soul developer Lucas Pope, who's sitting on a mountain of Game of the Year awards for Papers, Please. I am not worthy.
Captive is in confinement. Got my post secure.
Going in for the steal. Got it. I don't think it's safe.
Nothing going.
Situation is clear.
Let's see what he's got on him. Get your hands off me!
I've captured the subject.
Check in.
I'll check his pockets.
It's quiet tonight.
Got it.
No sign of the girl.
be taking this.
Ah, yes. Ayn Rand, the bulldozer. She dramatized the struggle for individualism against leeches. In reality, she abandoned such notions the minute they interfered with her own desires. They were socialist figments, in any case, librarian, not the true power structures that shape our lives. I'm afraid the fountainhead cannot flow, stopped up with so much hypocrisy.
The Stanley Parable is about a man with an extremely boring job who just sits at his computer all day doing the same thing over and over. One day, he looks up from his desk and realizes that he's all alone. This is where the story begins, when the man decides to spice up his life by not doing what he's told. Sounds like a hero to me. Good luck surviving in this meditative space strategy game, which takes basic RTS building mechanics and wraps it together with a pleasing minimalistic visual design. Oh, and good luck pronouncing its title. If I had access to Wikipedia, I could have saved myself from asking a fellow Prizrak and Swedish native what REM capsule means. He said it means space capsule. He then reported me immediately to Derringer.
Nothing to report.
This spot looks good. I hope they can't see me here. That was close, going in for the steal. Nice. P0 here.
It seems this door requires Omni Level 2. You can upgrade your OmniView software at a demon server. I'm detecting a demon server near the Overseer's office. The nearest approach is from the museum.
Good thinking. I hope they can't see me here.
It's the right thing to do. Librarian OK's decision to protect precals from literary rot. Do you want me to literally eat my words?
Oh, I am sorry, Miss Sade. I should not have thrown that newspaper at you. But how could you write this? I did not agree to ban books. The very implication hurts me to the bottom of my soul.
Well, I am sorry about your hurt bottom. But I used only direct quotes from you, librarian. See here. You said about Fahrenheit 451, and I quote, "It is worse than distasteful. It is revolting. Your words."
You asked me what I thought about the burning of books, not the book itself.
You did say it, though.
This is insanity! You are shameless.
Then take it up with the overseer. And pick up this mess on your way out.
The librarian's portrait has been taken down. I hope this is only a symbolic gesture.
Definitely here. Bring up the threat level.
Let's see what he's carrying.
I'm going after the subject. Huh?
Help! Oh no.
The girl must be extra careful around here. Some of my fellow Prizrak are wearing arc suits. It's protective armor that can withstand a direct taser attack. These guys are trigger happy and won't hesitate to attack the girl if they get the chance. Worst of all, their patrols are unreliable, meaning they could show up anywhere at any time. Probably best to keep the girl hidden if you spot a Prizrak in an arc suit.
Welcome to my domain. Sorry to see you go.
Sounds good.
Prizrak checking in. Place is quiet. Check in. Another quiet night.
Let's go for the steel. It's locked. danger.
Place is quiet.
You picked a good place. I hope they can't see me here.
Check in. What was that? Clear.
All right. Good thinking. I hope they can't see me here.
Situation is clear.
I'll hold on to this. I hope they can't see me here.
Ellison, who lets his nameless protagonist vacillate between conforming as an amnesiac of racial disadvantage and recalling all the doors locked by white hands. Belonging versus integrity. This book keeps open and raw such dichotomies, like festering wounds, while preserving an outdated model of social conflict. Invisible man should remain invisible.
Everything looks good. Everything looks good. What do you got?
Locked. There must be a way to open it. I'll be taking this. Good thinking. I hope they can't see me here.
Reporting.
To get into the headmaster's office upstairs, we'll need his PIN code. I don't have it in my files, but we can recover it. We'll need to answer some security questions first.
Raise the threat level.
False prophet infiltrates Metamorphosis. Masquerading as Prizrak, man brings toxic agenda to our perfect garden. The man's name is Zager, I believe. Daniel Marcus Zager. Apparently he was some kind of journalist on the outside. If the Overseer was smart, he'd label this as an act of supreme jealousy. After all, ours is a nation so wonderful that people risk death to sneak inside. Maybe we should take the initiative and lead with this angle.
All right. Good thinking.
I've apprehended the subject.
Look, pepper spray.
What was meant as a warning to Prizrak to be on the lookout for hiding precals is actually a good suggestion for the girl. Ducking behind the plant is a great way to escape detection.
The Zager cassette.
Remind the girl to walk slowly. Hurried footsteps will attract the attention of the Prizrak.
Welcome to my domain. What would you like? I press back through walls. Leaving so soon.
Reporting.
Good idea. We can recharge here. I'll take this.
Having tripped over every pesky regulation in my adopted Japan, I my study of genetics in America, and I couldn't have arrived at a more auspicious time in history. Within a year, they had put a man on the moon.
Have a quiet night.
If freedom of movement is one of the fundamental rights of man, then a prison train, such as this was, provided an ingenious loophole for my scheming captors. They slapped a fresh coat of paint on its rotting sides, and even went so far as to give it a rugged and exciting-sounding name, the Siberian Express.
This is a replica of the train.
My rations of stale bread and moldy cheese seemed especially cruel as our prison train crossed the Kama River into the foothills of the Ural Mountains. There, we passed one bucolic farm after another, every field dotted with plump Russian black-pied cattle. Never in my life have I felt so bereft. I would have committed the most heinous of crimes to have tasted the rich, salty goodness of their flesh.
And the headmaster was held prisoner on.
They forged me a pair of cold, gray leg irons to match the color of my eyes. A decidedly rare trait I believe I inherited from my Ainu mother.
Headmaster, over here.
If it isn't my favorite journalist from the Morning Bell.
It was a brilliant speech, Headmaster.
Why, thank you, Miss Sade.
Please, call me Maddie. Perhaps you could tell your citizens a bit more about the arrival. As much as you can state publicly, of course.
Of course, well, in a matter of weeks, we will take our bow on the global stage. The arrival is our world debut, and once it comes to pass, there will be little doubt that though we are a small nation and few in number, we are a force to be reckoned with.
I'm sorry, I had a follow-up, but I just got lost in the power of your voice.
Why, Mattie, please, you embarrass me.
Now, where was I? Oh, right. Your cryptic answers, which I adore, I must add.
Thank you.
But they've left some to speculate that the arrival refers to our ascension as a nuclear power.
Ah, nuclear power. In the 21st century, nuclear power is a contradiction in terms. Let those dying republics split atoms to their heart's content. No, my dear Mattie, what our Republique achieved is something far more impressive. And the mark we leave on the world will last an eternity.
You found me a good spot. I hope they can't see me here. Zager cassette.
Illustrating in pointless detail one's sexual perversion does not make for good writing. Miller's Tropic of Cancer is about as sexy as cancer itself. Our beloved precals must never suffer the caustic eruptions of desire this book desires to make possible. Like Innocence Lost, circulated contraband cannot be totally retrieved, but it may be tended. When we remove the object of desire, we erase the possibility for descent.
If you find a cassette player, perhaps you could hear what is on it. I remember seeing an old boombox when we ransacked one of Zager's hideout. If you find a cassette player, perhaps...
And though I was born into a world already in progress, with its arcane laws and perverse morality, with a washwoman for a mother and a question mark for a father, I knew that one day I would retire to a country of my own design, free from societal restraint.
Hello, librarian.
Good evening, Overseer.
Around the precals, I must insist you address me as headmaster.
Oh, my apologies, sir.
What did you think of my lecture? You may speak freely.
Well, you most certainly have a passion for what you teach. It was most inspiring.
Your eyes and your words don't seem to align. Now, I asked that you speak freely. It's okay. No harm in speaking your mind to me. I will respect your honesty. In fact, I demand nothing less.
Well then, sir, to be blunt, it felt more like a sermon than a lecture tonight.
Do you take issue with that? Again, speak freely.
Well, sir, I have never been a part of an academy quite like this one. The precals, well, they seem to study only one subject here.
What subject is that?
Well, sir, you.
We'll check his pockets. Got it.
Quiet tonight.
Upon completing the first draft, I delivered it personally to a small publishing house in the capital of France. A minor company I acquired and resurrected to suit my needs. I even went so far as to live in the rickety old apartment above the offices to personally oversee the publishing process.
As you can imagine, my job here in Metamorphosis can be pretty stressful. Whenever I need to zone out, I engage my brain with Kami, which is a clever and charming puzzle game. Kami is Japanese for paper. Kami is also Japanese for God. Why do I feel closer to God when I play time-wasting puzzle games? I sure do lead a dynamite life.
I found some pepper spray.
Nothing.
I hope they can't see me here.
Another quiet night.
The first draft rumbled from my mind and shook the page like a 9.0 earthquake. The pen was merely the needle on the seismograph, recording the shockwaves.
To get into the headmaster's office upstairs, we will need his PIN code. I don't have it in my files, but we can recover it. We'll need to answer some security questions first.
I'll hold on to this.
Salman Rushdie is about as much an idiot as Pasternak, particularly when he waxes political in Midnight's Children. Everyone wants freedom from empire until they must deal with the dolor of life without empire. His liberation of India is a distorted poetic dream. Revolutions happen unknown, except to the prescient few who take the reins. And in our time, those reins are cables that choke undesired information from the public eye.
I hope they can't see me here. thinking? I hope they can't see me here. Finding pepper spray. I don't think you can see me from there. I've been this way before. We're getting closer to the headmaster's office. I'll take this.
Kafka's Metamorphosis. Best to keep using the German title, Die Verwandlung. We cannot risk cross-contaminating the name of our grand experiment with this simplistic trash. This book portrays the act of transforming one's essence as a vile and isolating experience. Such misinterpretation would burden our children with doubt toward our own ends. Squash this vile bug, librarian.
Why, librarian, you look like you've seen a ghost.
I see many ghosts on these walls. Why would you take pictures with monsters, and worse, display them proudly?
I have sat for pictures with many important people, even people I find disagreeable.
I suspect you mean me. How could you stand beside this man here?
Not a fan of the Generalissimo, are we?
I crossed an ocean to escape Franco's brutality, only to find his brand of fascism had been imported to Argentina.
Well, I can't speak to that, but I will say I found our meeting quite pleasant. He was an excellent conversationalist, and his taste in wine, impeccable.
No sign of the pre-cal.
Let's see what he's got on him. This spot looks good. I hope they can't see me here.
No use hiding.
I'll check his pockets. I got something.
Subject on the move. I'm on my way.
I'll be taking this.
I've lost track of the girl.
Mir Mooney P takes me back in a big way. Back before the internet and FAQs, when we used to get stuck, We invested time into the game's systems enough to make the incomprehensible become familiar. Eventually, it all made sense. The payoff was worth it. Mere Moon EP wraps that nostalgic sentiment in a gorgeous package, if you can embrace the challenge.
An old Zager cassette.
No sign of the girl.
Good idea. My battery was running low.
Welcome to my domain. Care to purchase new abilities? Sorry to see you go.
Look, pepper spray.
If the battery on the girl's phone runs low, she need only find her way to a confinement room. Ideally, she'll visit them on her own free will, and not with a Prizrak escort.
We owe a debt of gratitude to those giants whose shoulders we've stood upon. The earlier they lived, the larger their stature, and so the greater our debt. While the 20s roared in America, they screamed like a Siberian windstorm in Vladimir's hometown of Simbirsk. A controversial man of the people, he was surely. And the fact that he spent time in political exile makes him that much more admirable, in my estimation. Plato's keen eyes peered further into the future than any of his Grecian contemporaries. He was, and will remain, the most vocal supporter of the classic Republic, and its earliest. His detractors would call him an opportunist, and they would be right. But Yataro Iwasaki was given nothing less than the modest opportunity to bring an entire nation into the modern age, and he succeeded. The nerve of him. A personal favorite. For those who would criticize him for his monopolistic tendencies in the early 20th century, I say, shout it from the rooftops, or, barring that, hop online and voice your disdain in a chat forum. He would appreciate the irony. The father of Europe was besieged from all sides by pagan tyranny. And then in the year 800, he did a most remarkable thing. He held the hands of secularism and religion and married them together in what would later be called the Renaissance. It is difficult to write a story as it unfolds, but to wait until it's finished is to risk butchering the telling of it. I would rather strain the wrists of those taking my dictation than cause even a modicum of butchery. Her death in 1952 was a tragedy, not just for the Argentine shirtless who idolized her, but for the anti-Peronists who celebrated her demise. Christ had a similarly divided populace to contend with, and like Eva, succumbed to sacrifice at the age of 33.
I'll check his pockets. Nice.
I flock to Metroidvania games like a bee to honey. I just didn't expect to play one soaked in Mexican folklore. In Guacamelee, you play as a luchador who must fight through death to rescue El Presidente's daughter. While the premise is silly, it's clear that the developers at Drinkbox took their jobs seriously. Deep combat, epic boss battles, couch co-op. Guacamelee is the whole enchilada. Just don't forget to get the Super Turbo Championship Edition.
I didn't make that statue light up. Something's wrong.
We owe a debt of gratitude to those giants whose shoulders we've stood upon. The earlier they lived, the larger their stature, and so the greater our debt. Plate.
The statue's already activated.
While
What's next? Worked. Let's try the next one.
What? Plato.
They aren't lit up anymore. We have to start over. Statue lit up. I think we did something right. A new statue lit up. That worked. Let's try the next one. The statue lit up. I think we did something right. That worked. What's next? You've solved it. You're a natural at puzzles.
weather in your corner of the world?
What if I tell you, are you going to try to guess my location?
No, I've about given up on that. It's been insufferably hot in D.C.
Then why are we meeting here?
I'm sorry?
Why not do this on the
The isn't built yet.
What? I was told construction began a month after the attack.
This is the U.S. government you're talking about. Maybe you've heard of us. Our contractors get paid twice as much to take twice as long.
Unbelievable.
Right this way, sir. Watch your step. Please, sit. Coffee?
I want a whistleblower.
Coffee?
I'm serious.
We can talk about that.
We're going to have to talk about that. If you want to hand the reins to someone who won't let the horse forget who's in charge.
I'm afraid I don't follow you.
That's your problem. You've got too many leaders and not enough followers. You should be following me. All of you should.
Okay, let's table that for a second. Say we get you a plant, and this plant blows his whistle in a year.
Or 2 months.
Or whenever. They're still not about to dismantle their entire surveillance infrastructure over some bad press.
I'm afraid you're right. This is where I need your help, Vice Admiral. If you get me on board and in command, then it won't matter how red their faces turn, or if they turn red at all. They won't have to privatize under pressure either. I'll already hold the reins. But we'll give it a name. Carnival. The Arrival. It doesn't matter. And we'll play act our way into the driver's seat.
I can't even imagine.
Leave imagination to me.
I remember being here as a young girl. At least I think I was. Someone's coming. What do I do?
Unqualified disaster. And on the eve of the arrival, no less.
Everything is fine, sir.
Fine. You were assaulted by a Prizrak. And you let altered copies of the manifesto reach the
I
children.
have the situation under control.
I'm beginning to think your definition of control is different than mine. They don't respect you because you don't wear the uniform. It's a weakness. It puts you at risk. This is an historic night for us. There can be no room for error.
I understand.
Then you understand why Derringer will lead the arrival.
What?
I'm sorry, my dear. We all appreciate the fine work you do with the kids. But you lost sight of what's most important. Protecting me.
So, I can lead the arrival.
Murray, you speak the language of diplomacy. Derringer speaks the truth. Truth hurts. This isn't a dismissal. Derringer will still need your help when we get resettled.
Yes, sir. The mentor is an asset to our cause. I look forward to hearing her ideas going forward.
Watch your step.
She's weak.
I hope that's all it is. Where was Murray when the Prizrak attacked her?
The section, outside the library. I'll look into it.
It's hard to know who to trust these days. It seems we're running a loyalty deficit around here. I don't mean you, Quinn, of course. I know. I can trust you. Wait. I never forgot this before. Must be old age.
No chance, sir. You just got a lot on your mind tonight.
Quite so. Come, young man, let's get to the surface.
Librarian, may I come in?
Ah, Headmaster, welcome. Oh. Ay, Dios mío, who is this fierce creature?
It's an Ainu owl, Librarian. My ancestors carved these from the amber trunks of Japanese spindle trees. I want you to have this one. Modest housewarming gift, nothing more.
Well, muchas gracias, señor. It's a handsome piece. I shall place it here on this shelf.
No. Lend it a bit more prominence. It's meant to be set out in the open.
Ah.
This way it can bring you luck.
Well, it's...
The eyes. Yes. They are a touch piercing. But that's the idea, you see. The owl is ever watchful. He will protect you day and night.
Ah. Yes, well, it's truly, how can I...
Oh, you're welcome.
You just acquired a fingerprint from that glass. Normally, the overseer wouldn't be so careless as to leave a usable print. But recently, in celebration of Zager's capture, the big man poured himself a stiff drink, and for a moment, let his guard down. Those pristine white gloves came off, and he was one of us for a day.
Gentlemen, I wish to resign. This is grossly inappropriate.
Inappropriate.
You are burning books. I have seen it with my own eyes. The books I procured for you.
Each book has been scanned into our servers and is now part of our digital catalog. You're merely hung up on nostalgia.
You are erasing history.
These books are my property now. I can do with them as I please.
No. I cannot be a party to this. I wish to leave immediately.
First you want to resign, now you want to leave?
I assume the implication was apparent.
You're not going anywhere.
You cannot keep me here against my will.
In fact, I can. You, like the books, are now property of the state. You will continue to fulfill your obligations to the precals until I decide what to do with you.
I have a few suggestions, sir.
Master faces swift reprimand. Mireille Prideaux found with contraband. Overseer, none of us are above the law.
Miss Sade, it has been a pleasure speaking to you, but I must get up early tomorrow.
Look, I'm turning off my tape recorder. This is no longer an interview. We're just two people talking. Perhaps one more glass?
A short one, then.
Where do you get the wine from? I thought we weren't allowed contraband from the outside world.
Off the record? I have been here long enough. I'm allowed certain liberties. You receive special treatment? I know how big my cage is. At the end of the day, we are all equally inferior in the eyes of the Overseer. Don't you dare print that, Miss Said. I promise. Strictly off the record.
You now have what you need to access the librarian's office. I know the girl is anxious to find him.
You found me a good spot.
Over there.
They won't find me in here.
You can't hide from us.
Going in for the steal. I got something.
A retro styling of the horror genre. You wake up in a strange house with no memory of how you got there. More troubling, you quickly discover a dead body nearby, and clues in the room seem to implicate you. The end is rather controversial, but I thought it was excellent. A word of warning. Home is scary, so keep a change of pants nearby.
Situation is clear.
I'll check his pockets. Nice.
Clear.
Good thinking. They won't find me in here.
British humor was hard for me to follow, but thanks to our multicultural workforce here in Metamorphosis, I'm finally able to wrap my head around the minimalist charm of Thomas Was Alone. With themes as universal as friendship and freedom, this spectacular puzzle platformer has broad appeal. Danny Wallace's narration really brings the characters to life, and is a source of inspiration for my future career in voice acting. The girl is no doubt anxious to see the librarian. You now have what you need to access the librarian's office. I suggest you return to the library. His office door is located on the second floor.
No sign of the girl.
The overseer runs this library like a wild animal preserve. Look, but don't touch.
I'll hold on to this.
Sputnik, Sweetheart, and its protagonist, Kay. A dutiful man who accepts his place in the pecking order. Nothing distasteful, thus far. Yet Murakami insists on criticizing the social mold that makes a man valuable at all. Effective coercion works within, but knowing so much is not in our citizens' best interests. Box this up, librarian.
Thanks. You found me a good spot. They won't find me here.
Who did that?
I can't carry anymore. A new taser. This hiding place looks good. I should be safe here. This spot looks good.
Quiet tonight.
Equipping P0. I hope they can't see me here.
Check in. Clear. I've got my post secure. Check in. No sign of the girl.
He's just up these stairs. Librarian! Librarian! Senor Octavo? Librarian! Oh no! Stop it!
The girl activated a video that appears to have been recorded only moments ago. I presume it relates to the dead librarian. It's important that we determine what happened. However, she's not accustomed to witnessing violence. It's difficult to anticipate how it will affect her.
Senor Octavo, just the man I want to see.
Hello, Derringer. To what do I owe this pleasure?
Good book.
It is a classic.
Not just a classic. I mean, it's actually good.
How can I help you?
Why does this guy, Edmond Dantes?
Dante.
Dante, right. Why does this guy tell Maximilian that his girl is dead?
For revenge.
No, Maximilian's his friend.
Yes, you are. You're right, of course.
Damn it, man. You have read this, haven't you?
Of course, yes. It has been a while.
Why does Dantes put his friend through so much misery?
I think the point is to teach a lesson. You cannot know happiness unless you have been exposed to tragedy.
Can't know hope without despair.
I believe that is it, yes.
Kind of like the pre-cows. They don't know up from down, good from bad. They got no perspective because they don't have a clue about the outside. Or do they?
This is an intriguing intellectual exercise, Derringer, but it is late and
Why'd you give the kids the Poison Manifesto?
I did not.
What do you do in that hidden room downstairs?
What room?
Think we can't hear that god-awful music bleeding through the walls?
I just read and...
Reading Sega's trash!
I have seen it, yes, but I would never act on it.
Spying against us.
No.
You were planning to help the children escape.
No, Derringer,
Where the hell do you think you're going?
What happened?
Senor Octavo?
Un momento. Buenos días.
You Senor Octavo?
Sí, I am Luis Octavo, yes.
My name's Quinn Derringer. My employer contacted you.
Yes, of course. The mystery man who pays me twice what I ask. Did he receive the books yet?
He did. And he thanks you. He'd like to thank you personally.
Of course. Tell him to come in at any time.
He's not in Buenos Aires. Is your passport in order?
My passport? What is this about?
My employer has some more work for you.
Mystery man? What sort of work?
That's the mystery.
Well, where would I go? Oh, impossible. I cannot close my shop.
My employer thinks you can. He'll pay whatever you ask.
He doesn't even know my price.
But he knows you have one. You got a number in your head, senor?
I do.
Good. Double it. Where's your passport at?
Oh, no. Wait a minute. How long will I be gone?
Just a few days. I promise.
All quiet here.
I'll hold on to this.
I'm a little relieved you chose not to show that video to the girl. Still, it feels a bit like censorship, keeping it from her.
Dear Senor Octavo, thank you so very much for giving me a copy of Labyrinths by Borgia. Each of the stories was fascinating. I especially enjoyed the one called The Library of Babel. It made me think of you, surrounded by all those books, overwhelmed with the infinite number of ideas they contain, and left wondering which books contain the truth and which are false. Is it true you knew Borgia and discussed literature with him? If so, I am positively envious. Thank you again for the stimulating read. Your friend, 390H. I'll hold on to this.
Paine is best read as a comedian librarian. For Paine, constitutions come from rights, charters create chaos, and monarchs require oversight against corruption from all whose interests fall short of the state's well-being. We are beyond constitutions, charters, even monarchs. We are communication itself. These so-called rights of man must not radicalize anyone into thinking otherwise. Salman Rushdie is about as Kafka's yes, Ayn Rand. Paine is best read.
No sign of the girl.
We're gonna get in trouble, Weep.
No, we're not. He would never turn us over to Mireille.
He might if he caught us smoking his cigarettes.
Don't drag on it so long.
How do you know about this stuff?
I read a book.
One of Senor Octavo's books?
No, it was the manifesto. He has a whole chapter dedicated to smoking.
You're making fun of me.
What the hell's up with that bird?
A cassette.
Nothing going.
That's more than I can carry. I can't carry anymore.
Nothing going. What have you got? Place is quiet.
Good thinking.
Situation is clear. No sign of the pre-K.
There's music coming from behind the first floor bookcase. Derringer accused the librarian of having a secret room. Could it be behind the bookcase?
This hiding place looks good.
Another quiet night.
There's music coming from behind the first floor. Derringer, could it be behind?
A new taser. old Zager cassette. This may come in handy.
A caterwaul for pulp and glue fetishists. Those bleeding hearts decry book burning, yet fail to cross-check their e-readers. We can alter the digital version with profound sleight of hand. No smoke, no ash, but the effect is the same. And all at a temperature more manageable than Fahrenheit 451. I'll spare you the irony of burning this one, librarian. Technology has done your job for you.
They won't
check in.
Help! They won't find me in here.
the report. Sounds good. Reporting.
Where's Rick?
Reporting.
I think he sees me. Oh no. I hear music. It's coming from behind this bookcase.
But Senior Octavo...
Shh, un momento. Go ahead, 933W.
You can't stay here.
I'm too old to be tilting at windmills.
But you don't know what the headmaster is capable of.
Sadly, I know all too well. History abounds with men like the Overseer.
He will kill you. Recalibrate you.
Were I 30 years younger, things would be different. I would hew to the line that Zager has drawn. But today, I am merely an old academic with failing eyesight. I doubt I can even see the line.
I'll come back for you. For all of you.
Why, 933W, I find your compassion extraordinary.
Call me Weep. I'm not a number anymore.
This is no mere piece of paper. It is an escape plan. A blueprint for a key. A master key. Capable of unlocking any number of doors inside this facility. But that is not all. In the garden, there is a gate to the outside world. A gate to freedom. This key, I am told, will unlock that gate.
What's yours is mine.
A blueprint of the Overseer's master key. The librarian suggested this key is required to escape from the facility. I know of a 3D printer located in archives. With this blueprint, the girl can manufacture a key.
Where'd the girl go? Situation is clear. Get that threat level up.
Threat level is back to normal.
machine. I wonder if this is what the blueprint's for. Is there a way to turn it back on? Can you hack this open? Now I think we need to configure the blueprint. I don't know. This key's identical to the one the headmaster used in his office. Let's go there now.
The girl has the key. Let's get her to the surface. Head back to the overseer's office.
I'll hold on to this. They won't find me.
I've got my post secure.
Derringer and the headmaster went this way to the surface.
There's an elevator on the other side of the atrium. It's probably the girl's best chance for getting to the surface.
It's been a long time since I allowed someone to speak to me this way, librarian.
I will not shy away from telling you what I see. You are the dark ruler of this world, Overseer.
This isn't a world, yet. Merely a small corner of it. And the darkness you perceive persists only because you refuse to open your eyes. Now, if you will excuse me, I must tend to more pressing matters in the terminus. You don't have access to this part of the complex, so I will bid you farewell. Unless... would you care to see what we've been working on?
Not in the least. It is unreal to me. If I cannot hold it in my hands and smell the history in its pages, it is not there. I don't know what you do, and I don't care. But I do know fascism when I see it. I am well versed in the struggles against it. And I know that you will ultimately fail, as all fascists have failed.
Watch your step.
I will not! You must know this. You're nearly as old as me, but still so naive in the ways of the world. Control is illusory, Overseer. Your network, whatever you call it, I call it a trap. It will not catch everyone. And the ones who slip through it will regroup and stand against you someday. You think because of your fancy computers and your expensive surveillance that you can succeed with those who rose to power in the 20th century failed? You are naive. Control is a lie.
Control is the linchpin of a safe society. We fall apart without it. Now, as you can't seem to control your own emotions, librarian, I'm confident you don't recognize a need for control in society. Good day, sir.
qualms about winding up on the wrong end of a gun. We all go someday. What scares me is what they do to me after I'm dead. Maybe they leave my body intact. Make an open casket martyr out of me. That ain't likely. See, I think the chances are that they're going to cremate me and burn me like a stack of banned books. And then they'll take the propaganda machine out for a victory lap and scatter my ashes like so much confetti in a ticker tape parade. Because who doesn't love a parade, right? Who doesn't love a parade? Well, I don't. Listen, kids, I don't know what Treglazov has in store for you, but whatever he gives you going forward is too little, too late. Because he's already taken the best of you. He's taken your identity. That's what this place does. It's what men like the Overseer do. They remove your right to privacy, and they leave you afraid to speak your mind. Pretty soon, there's no mind left to speak from. And without a point of view, you've got nothing. And you might as well be dead. Well, I'm still alive. And while there's still fire in my heart and a dangerous amount of wild turkey in my veins, I'm going to prepare for my own afterlife. I'm going to write my own obit. I'm going to get out in front of the old man's propaganda machine, and I'm going to stand there like the tank man and unyielding, unmoving. Too often, history is written by bad men, but not my history. Not my history. Not tonight. Tonight, I tell my own story. Even if it kills me. Zager here. Today, all Prizrak were required to report to the reading room for a mandatory audience with the Overseer. Wait, I'm sorry, correction. The few and the proud were pleasantly surprised to find themselves graced by a visit from the Big Cheese himself. His Majesty treated our hometown heroes to a few select passages from his manifesto. And after all the applause, he even sat down to sign a few copies. So about this time, I'm off. I'm wandering the halls, doing a bit of reconnaissance when some FOB Prizrak found me and dragged me along. As luck would have it, I had a manifesto with me. But it wasn't any old manifesto. It was mine. The edited version, where the pages are filled with righteous invective and disciplined truth. Like I've said before, my manifesto is the old man's death warrant. A summons for all the evil he's wrought into this place and beyond. Well, at least it will be once I can crank out enough copies. I'm kind of running a one-man opera here. Where was I? Oh yeah. So, all of a sudden here I am, being hustled up to the podium to meet the man himself. And before I can hide the book, he snatches it out of my hands, opens it up to the first page. Behind the mask, I'm white as a sheet. I'm waiting for him to look down and see my, improvements. I froze. And he just smiles, that big plastic smile at me, and kissed me as John Hancock under the words, "Best wishes." So he hands it over. Off I go, and, well, here I am. I wonder if that smug Treglazov could appreciate the irony of signing his own death warrant. I know I do. I have a treat for you today, kids. Today, I have got a book review for you. No, it's not the manifesto. It's one of the overseer's earlier efforts. It's a little self-help manual from the late 90s with this rather dubious title. There it is. Defrag Your Mind, the Pursuit of Happiness in a Computer Age. This could be the biggest waste of printed pages ever to burden a bookshelf. I mean, this makes Mein Kampf look like Anne of Green Gables. Now, on page 1, he states, and I'm quoting here, disorganization is the single greatest threat to the continued existence of modern society. So, not genocide, not nuclear proliferation, not government oppression, not Wall Street. Clutter! Oh, man. I wish you could see this. This is got to be the ugliest dust jacket photo I've ever seen. Awful tie, worse haircut, nice sweater, jerk. This book starts by reminding us that we're all essentially supercomputers with an emphasis on the word super. It's cute. Next, he explains how we can simplify our lives, be even happier, by cleansing our minds of thoughts that are hold on, impure on the level of psychological honesty and filled with resentment and spiritual shallowness. Blah, 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 blah. Basically, this book is all about the whitewashing of the ugly truth and recasting it as beautiful lies. He thinks clutter's the problem. Well, I'd hate for him to see this place. Although, on second thought, maybe I should invite him over sometime for a little glasnost. Blow his mind. Literally. All right. I gotta go. This is Zager reminding you, don't trust anybody. Not even me. Zager here. Now, to all of you budding revolutionaries, I wanted to give a word of advice. The best way to fight fire is with more fire. Why do protests fail? Well, protests fail because the protesters bring knives to a gunfight. Nobody listens to a knife. If you want to get the Prizrak's attention, you need to learn to speak their language. And a charged taser or a full canister of P0 says plenty more than the verse-chorus verse of Kumbaya. I mean, what are you going to do? Kill them with kindness? Good luck. A revolt should be revolting. Violence is the only language these men speak, and brutality is their only currency. So, pay them back with the business end of a taser. Well, they'll feel it in the morning. Believe me, I know. I have been tased and pepper sprayed more times than I care to remember. I was at a WTO protest once. I got hit in the eyes with so much capsaicin, it melted my contacts. It hurts. And that's the point. Because it hurts them too. Listen, the uprising begins the moment you are willing to fight fire with fire. This is what you have to do. Destiny's online too, so pick up the phone already. This is Zager telling you not to say peace. Because peace is for chumps. The only thing you're in charge of are the thoughts crashing around in your head. Everything else is beyond your control. But there are those who believe control can be rebranded, repackaged as participation, and that by doing this, the people will fall in line. See, they believe our actions can be made predictable, predetermined. They think they're God. They play the part, but they're nothing like God. Now, they do, however, share a thing or two with the devil. Our fearless leader here in Metamorphosis, for example, like the devil, he goes by many names. Sir, Treglazov, Headmaster, Overseer. He's never met a man whose will he didn't try to bend the way a prism bends light, or break a man the way the gauchos break a horse. But the more he wraps the reins tighter in his small, meaty, sweaty little fists, the more they slip through his fingers. Because the Overseer, he doesn't know that a man cannot be tamed. A man cannot be controlled. And to drive a man toward domestication is to drive him over the edge, as my ex-wives can attest to. And man, beyond that cliff is pure chaos. Endless, terrifying, and honest. Chaos is a plain dealer. Now, the Overseer has a slight obsession with purity, if you haven't noticed, but control ain't pure. It's oily and unctuous and slithery and full of deceit and lies. Now, chaos, well, that's as pure as mountain spring water. As right as rain. The old man is oil, and I'm water, so it's no wonder we don't mix so well. So I say, it's time we give our fearless leader a taste of real purity. Right? Let's rain down chaos in this place and wash away all the lies. This is Zager reminding you, don't trust anyone. Not even me.
Place is quiet.
Prizrak. An elevator. It must lead to the way out. So many buttons. The ninth floor. The top. The surface. No. Are we stopping? Can you do something here?
I've been looking for you.
No!
Calm down, or I'll have to tase you.
Help! Help!
Citizens of Metamorphosis, words fail me tonight. I cannot rightfully describe the bleak, chasmal longing that echoes through my heart. Our beloved librarian, Senor Luis Octavo, has passed away. Derringer paid him a visit earlier this evening, hoping to discuss his exciting new role as cultural attaché. Instead, he found the Senor lying prone on his office floor, his heart failing. Ever valiant, Derringer sprang into action. He tried desperately to save the poor man. Sadly, it was too late. The librarian succumbed to the great unknown, cradled in Derringer's arms. But in a final act of appreciation, his words, his last words, as he looked up at Derringer, were, "Thank you." As I'm sure has been reported, Senor Octavo and I did not always see eye to eye. Still, I made it a point to listen to his thoughtful and honest assessments of our fair Republique. He was especially critical of our prized surveillance infrastructure. I regret that I wasn't ever able to persuade him of its importance. I learned at an early age to never speak ill of the dead. I must hold my tongue now. But I will say this, for it pains me too greatly to keep it to myself. Had our security been more robust, Luis Octavo would still be alive. A camera is an asset to our superior way of life. But what use is a camera without a good pair of eyes to monitor the feed? Had someone seen the librarian collapse, they could have reached him in time. I am confident the arrival will help improve security in the future, and thus assure us greater safety going forward. Thank you for listening. And good night, librarian. We mourn your loss, but we celebrate your life with an equal passion.